Hello, and haven't we got the perfect ambience? We also have the perfect book for the perfect ambience. Sulari Gentill's The Woman in the Library, which comes to us from Ultimo Press. Take a good look at that most ravishing cover. Now, I read this and I absolutely loved it. I devoured it in almost no time. She's an Australian author, and she has written, not in that vein of the Australian rural sort of crime, the gritty outback noir. She's written, I think you could call it sort of a whodunit. I wouldn't quite call it cozy crime, definitely whodunit, and a whodunit plus some, because this is a very, very complicated, a very sophisticated, clever story structure. We have a story within a story. This I found was superbly quirky, very, very original for this structure. Loved all of the kind of fun that Gentill is having with her characters, and with this double layer plot going on. She uses the very obvious things that you're expecting to find in an Agatha Christie style novel, you know, like suspicion cast on this character, but is it really? And he's too nice, and oh, why did he not tell her this? All of those, lots of red herrings being sort of, you know, held up and waved madly. It's absolutely riveting. It's one of those most satisfying reads for when you want to curl up with something that's extremely good and is not in any way sort of bleak or distressing. It's just a wonderful romp, but exceptionally clever. We have in this story, as I said, a double story. So our outer story, if you like, concerns someone called Hannah, who's a writer, and she is sending the early chapters or first chapters of her novel as she progresses, and she's sending these to someone called Leo, who is in Boston. So he's, because she's setting her story, her novel in Boston, he's able to give her information about, no, you wouldn't say that here. That wouldn't be there. There aren't any, you know, we don't call them bars, or we do call them, you know, he gives her all the cultural references that she needs to make her story completely authentic, and he's very helpful with his criticism. And as the story progresses, we become fascinated by their exchange and his take and her take on what she's writing. And that develops in the most interesting fashion. But the story within the story that she is writing concentrates on a young woman called Winifred, or we'll call her Fred, or she's called Freddy. And she is also writing a novel. So we have this, I like this sort of, you know, story within a story within a story. She has immense fun doing this. And this young woman is on a scholarship. She's in a shared house, and she's actually, you know, one of the people who's in this shared house has the same name as in the outer story, the Leo who Hannah is writing to. And that's very deliberate. It's very clever. It makes you sort of suspicious of everything. It's hilarious. This young woman, Freddie, turns up at the Boston State Library, and she's sitting down in her booth surrounded by three people that she's sort of looking at and saying, oh, they might be quite interesting for my novel. So she sort of, you know, she gives them names like Freud Girl, Heroic Chin, and Handsome Man. And there they are, sort of, you know, chipping away at whatever their projects are. And all of a sudden, there is this blood-curdling scream. Gotta go.